She's an asphalt driver from the Midwest who made it to the Sprint Cup Series. She's a former Miss Motorsports who's the daughter of a sprint car driver from Pennsylvania. Somehow they make it work. Time for Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tire. Here are David and Ashley Stremme.
Welcome, everyone. It is Tuesday, and we are going to talk modifieds and late models today. As always, here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires, we have an amazing show for you today. First guest joining us is Scott Bloomquist. He is the inaugural Buckeye Nationals $50,000 winner at Atomic Speedway. We have Michael Long. He's your UMP feature winner at Quincy Raceways and has had a stellar season so far this year.
He's got bounty out on him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, seriously.
We'll have to talk about that. And last and certainly not least, Ryan Unzicker. He is the Chuck Hamilton ALMS winner at Peoria Speedway this weekend. We're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. We have a lot to talk about this week.
A lot. My tear-off stayed on, folks. I was so nervous because she didn't go with me this weekend. She had other obligations, and we went to I called it and I'm gonna make fun of it, but I'm gonna give them a lot of compliments. I went to Skyline Speedway in Ohio, outside of Parkersburg, and I had tweeted that I did not have my four-wheel drive set up in because it was so rough that I had actually seen a sprint car catch a rut in the middle of straightaway and just barrel rolled like crazy by himself. But the people were great there. They were super nice. Facility was nice other than the track conditions, but they had a pile of cars there. And then Saturday we went to Witt Speedway, which is always really fast, really cool
Big
place.
Sweeping racetrack.
And for anybody that follows us on Twitter had seen we were leading lap 14, and our oil pump, the actual pump itself broke. It was a brand new motor. It was heartbreaking, but my tear-off stayed on.
Well, that's
I was
good.
happy.
I'm proud of you. I didn't get any phone calls that were 911.
But what I did was I took my old one and laid it down so I knew what side to put out. Because the thing is, every time I do it, the sticky side's out, and I'm like, I can't see nothing, and that's a big thing in dirt.
Why you don't do it?
But anyways, the cool thing.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead.
I thought there was something really, really cool.
Tell me.
And it says a lot about the sport of dirt racing. There's a lot of guys like myself that grew up asphalt racing that are coming to the dark side, I call it. I love it, the dirt side. But Mark Martin had an interview on onedirt.com. It was really, really cool what he had to say about dirt racing, his perspective of how hard it is to adapt, and really, really great to hear him how he loves the dirt track and stuff. So, I mean, it was really, really cool to see that.
Well, speaking of former NASCAR drivers and barrel rolling, our good friend Kenny
yes.
Wallace,
bless,
he took a heck of a ride this weekend. Ended up on his lid, barrel rolled 5 times, ended up on his lid, caught on fire. Thankfully, he's okay. Thankfully, it wasn't our car.
and hey, I'm going to give Donnie Jumper, it was an impressive car. Donnie Jumper builds a great car. It scared me. I was getting ready for bed, and next thing I know, a friend of ours tweets us, and I'm like, what? So I start looking, or I should say text me. But anyways, I start looking, and it was pretty scary. But I will say, with everything that's happened over the last month, there's so many people been really big on the safety side, which Kenny's always had really good seats and stuff. But the biggest thing I think we all need to look at, and he had what it was is the head of the stud pulled through the hub, and the wheel come off, and he barrel rolled like 5 times. So all the safety stuff had done its job, but it was scary.
And I know the track that he was racing at was a little rough as well. But I think that Mother Nature plays a huge toll in that lately. Tracks this weekend canceled because of snow. It's May. It's crazy. But a lot of rain in the areas have made for not so easily groomed tracks, and they end up being pretty darn rough these last few weeks.
Some track preppers think they're the best, and some just aren't the best.
And sometimes the weather just doesn't help out.
But you know what I told one of our customers? I said, you know what? I said, it's the same for everybody. Some just make out better.
Right.
So, but anyways, the other thing, I watched a video, and I know you were gonna. It's in your notes that I had seen that Terry Phillips won there at Longdale.
Yeah,
that was an awesome race. They had Rodney Sanders, Gustin. I'm gonna try to think here in my notes.
You don't
Stovall,
have notes.
Jesse
what are you
Stovall.
talking about?
Jesse Stovall was around the rim, but it was really, really cool, exciting. The 4 of them, and USMTS is going to go there here this weekend, so I really look forward to seeing how that comes out. But it was a really, really good race.
Well,
and I can say you don't see that on asphalt.
You don't.
Except
That's
for
exactly
at Dover.
Right.
They said Dover race was good, but
we didn't watch it, so I wouldn't know. But big block talk. Super Dirt Week. We talk about it a lot. It's kind of a staple. It's historical. It's kind of official that it will not be happening at the track that they're building.
I think
which
we all
kind of already assumed that. It's not official, but rumor has it that it will be held at Oswego this year.
Another asphalt track putting dirt on it.
Yes.
Now, I'm telling you, Plymouth Speedway. I was just talking to Post, who him and Aaron do Wing Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Plymouth Speedway up in Indiana had their first World Outlaw sprint car race, and I heard rave reviews. I mean, it packed house, had grandstands from Daytona in, and it was really, really good surface. You got Rockford, and now Oswego.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, Posty and I, we actually host the MAV TV show. We're actually going to be talking about the resurgence of dirt car racing and sprint car racing and how asphalt tracks are changing to dirt tracks this weekend. So make sure you tune into that on MAV TV every Saturday morning at 9:30 and 12:30.
I look at technology, equipment, everything. There's so much that is changing. But the biggest thing, and when I watch that Longdale video, the dirt racing, when I watched Stovall move around and you had Rodney and everybody, it's people, it's hard to do. Irwindale's a progressive bank track. A lot of they try doing it on asphalt. It's so hard to where on dirt it's like, well, I'm just going to cowboy up and go up top here and see what I can make it happen. And we see it all the time. You know, people, I watched there at Atomic some videos. I mean, Brandon Shepard, you know, a lot of these guys were really, I mean, they were trying to make some stuff go, and I give them credit. I mean, the dirt is definitely entertaining from a fan stand.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, it's probably not a good side of the entertainment, but Big Rex and the talking about the high side. Boom Briggs, he had his bad accident back at Farmer City. When was that? 2 months
back
ago.
Like March.
Yeah, beginning of the year. He had his third surgery yesterday.
Really?
He's full of plates and wires and pins and all kinds of stuff.
So he had to have, I didn't know he was that hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Third surgery, I believe. I think there's one or two more surgeries.
What's he got wrong with him? Is it like his legs or arm?
His arm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess when the front end snapped, he still had a hold of the steering wheel and it broke something. And several surgeries, plates, pins, wires. I know they said one plate is going to be permanent. But he had a surgery yesterday. I know eventually he's got to have to do a skin graft as well. So, but he is hoping to be back by Weedsport, which is about 4.5 weeks away.
Yeah,
but
that's up by his home area.
Yeah,
I mean, he's gonna look
his
forward.
relative is Chubb Frank, his cousin.
I don't know, but
they're
him
related,
and Chubb.
anyhow.
I was getting ready to say him and Chubb are always parked by each other.
Yeah,
so I mean,
they're related.
Chubb is definitely sad on the road without him.
And I think they live like a couple miles apart from one another. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, Chubb has been fixing his race car for him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So a really cool little
you don't
story
see that
there.
Much.
No.
That
so I guess
cool.
he's been piecing everything back together for him so he has a race car to run when he is able to get back in.
I told you he missed him on the road, you know. That's the thing.
But
that is a good deal. I mean, there's a lot of that when you look at and we were talking about this at the Southeastern Modified race on Saturday. There were some guys from the county line area over, and they hadn't been to Wythe. And I'm like, look, when you travel around and you're like a big traveling circus or family, you know, and that's what it's
but
great.
They really are family.
Okay. Well.
They literally are family.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
All right.
So
anyhow.
So he's expected to get his car back.
Well, I don't know
together.
if he's expected.
Like, hey, cuz, I need that car
I
fixed.
know he's been cutting and welding on it, and they've been piecing it back together
that was
to try to get him.
Horrifying.
Woo,
you know what the one thing,
craziness.
And when you talk about, I think a Boone's Rack, and I seriously mean this. I mean, as drivers and builders and everybody, they looked at the cars of trying to make them safer and doing stuff. Mm-hmm. But we got to look at some of these tracks. You know, I had seen. That's one of the things that I give Raceway credit. It's a beautiful surface. Everything's good, but it's so fast, and they got like 3-4 openings in it in the guardrail, and that's scary stuff there.
Well, speaking of, was it the U cars?
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, that man. Whew.
So what, and if you don't see it, it was on Witt's Facebook.
Crazy.
A U car went in head on. The guy come out of the car, and his brake lights were on before he hit the wall. But anyways, another guy comes in like a 10-minute later wreck, hit the guy, like physically hit his body. The guy's on, Facebook saying, yeah, I come out of the car. I said, bud, I hope you went to church today. And it's Sunday. I was like, that's crazy. But, I mean, it's one thing. I know people want to race, but we all got to really look at stuff. It is dangerous. You go to these places, I don't care if it's a little 8th mile bull ring. It's dangerous what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was another video that was surfacing around on Facebook as well. I believe there was a heated discussion between two drivers, and the one guy had gotten out to
tell you what's
walk
cool.
away, and the other guy took off while he was standing on the nose of his car. It was not a pretty sight as well.
Speaking of social media, it used to be where you would go, oh, yeah, you'd find out 3 weeks later where, oh, some guy in Illinois, he got mad or done this. Well, now it's like, I can't wait to wake up Sundays because either my friends are winning or they're sharing stuff that is so crazy that got caught on cameras. And then especially you have all this, I know Rigsby and Bob Dillner and them don't like hearing this, but they got Facebook Live, you have Periscope, all this stuff. Like, I get on Periscope just to see. I'm like, oh, hold on here. All right, no, nobody's streaming from there. Dang it. Even if I could just see a little bit, but you see some crazy stuff floating around there for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of Twitter, make sure you follow us on Twitter. It is Slingin Dirt, no G in there, just L-I-N, Dirt. We got some great pictures over the weekend. It's always cool and fun to follow along with where all our friends and fans and family are tweeting their seats. And
I was trying to work, and Lenny Baticki's over there taking pictures. He's like, oh, I tweeted you guys. I'm like, thank you.
He is the king of taking pictures and tweeting them for sure. Lenny at PRN, he blows the Twitter up with some pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool deal he does there. Some winners from this weekend. Bub McCool, he won at Greenville. Gustin and Phillips won at Longdale.
Yep.
Ferg, he won at Travelers Rest.
Got his new car back going.
Yeah. Did he get a new one or did he replace?
Yeah, he got a brand new one. He ended up.
Okay, I didn't know if he had fixed the one that he had wrecked.
For the people that don't know, he was leading the World Outlaw race at Carolina and went down into 3 and really couldn't see. I forget who it was that was high with a flat, slid in there, wrecked it. But the next week, he got it all fixed up and he went down to Cherokee and won at Cherokee.
I didn't know if he had gotten a new car or just got it
got a brand new Longhorn is what he got.
Right on.
Yep.
Shane Clanton, he won at Sonoa.
And that was his dad's memorial race.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
I'm almost 100% positive.
Oh.
And Chase, Houlihan's, but youngins, I talked to him this morning. He says, man, if I just would have had a little bit more, I could have beat him. I said, what happened? He said, I just ran out of talent. I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, at least he's honest.
I'm sure if I talked to Shane, it'd be a different story. But anyway.
Well, they're good buddies anyhow.
Yeah.
Jacob Hawkins, he was the big winner at Atomic this weekend. Jason Hughes, let me tell you, that man is absolutely on fire. We had him on the show, I believe it was last week. He sweeps the weekend with USMTS. I think it's his 9th or 12th win with USMTS this year. Absolutely impressive season that he is got rolling there.
Johnny Scott run, I think, second to him the one night. And I was like, both Johnny and Stormy, I was like, and their customers ours, I was like, y'all got to beat him. He said, man, he's good right now.
He's tough.
I said, well, okay, we'll beat him, But
he's absolutely tough
he's doing very well.
We have Hearn. He won at Lebanon Valley. No surprise there.
The world's great today.
Because Hearn
it's
won?
It's spinning right, yes.
It's like Dale Jr.
Yes. Brett Hearn is Dale Jr. of Big Block Mods. I'm serious. He takes the lead. Crowd goes nuts. I'm serious. I mean, him and Shepard, and and I got to give a shout out to Max McLaughlin, who's running one of the HBR mods. He had his top 5. I think it was at Bridgeport, one of them tracks up there. So he's done very well, and he's committed to this summer running up there. So that's really cool.
Jimmy Phelps picked up the win at Brewerton. And a really cool story, Andy Bacchetti, I think I probably butchered that. He went from last because he pulled out a backup car for the A-Main.
Really?
Went to last and won it.
Where was that at?
So I-88 Speedway.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So really, I bet that was a whale of a show to see.
That sounds like a Willie Milliken story right there.
Willie Milliken.
Yeah. That is like crazy. So.
Crazy.
Anyways, yeah, how about, so you talked about Hawkins winning the mod race. They had a lot of great mods at Atomic there. I almost went there on Friday. We were just late because we were going to go to Princeton Friday. Got rained out for Southeastern and just couldn't make it there in time. But Nick Hoffman, they said he's been on a pretty good roll this year, and he was leading, and I think his axle come out or something, but Jacob ended up winning. So that was a pretty big pretty big win for him there.
I don't know. Where's Scott Bloomquist? We need to
he's
get him
probably
on the
working.
telephone. Yeah, he's probably sleeping. Knowing him, he works till 5 in the morning. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh.
I'm telling you, the guy works all the time. So,
yeah.
I mean, you look at, he in his interview had said, you know, you never think there's a next level. And I thought it was a really cool interview, and I hope we can get him on the phone because I wanted to hear about it. But he's like, man, we're at that next level, and it's just you just keep working harder and harder. It's very, very hard, and people ask me that all the time about, you know, Jimmy Johnson, is he that good, or is it? I'm telling you, there's guys that it is so hard. You watch them, and they're motivated more and more and more and more, and they've raised the bars. I mean, there's a lot of them. I try to do that too, but Bloomer was saying, he's like, you know, I worry, man, I don't know if I'm going to catch that guy. And then he went to work, and he's hot right now.
He is. He's been on a roll for sure. Well, we're going to pay some bills real quick, and hopefully we can get Scott on the phone, and we'll be right back here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Race cars are finely tuned for maximum performance. Freightliner trucks are too, taking into account all the factors that drive your profitability and lower your real cost of ownership. Efficient aerodynamic designs paired with the integrated Detroit powertrain maximizes fuel efficiency, uptime, quality, connectivity, and safety to give truckers peace of mind and a better return on investment. Find out how to lower your real cost of ownership at rco.freightlinertrucks.com.
Luke Bryan.
Yeah, that's my kind of night.
Jason Aldean.
Let's get this thing started. It's my kind of party.
Florida Georgia Line.
This is how we roll.
Kid Rock. Lady Antebellum. Willie Nelson.
Mama, don't let you
And so much more. Get ready for the first ever Country 500. The Great American Music Fest at Daytona International Speedway. Plus Little Big Town, Lee Brice, Tyler Farr, Trace Atkins, and more. Memorial Day weekend, May 27th, 28th, and 29th. 3 awesome days and nights on the infield of the World Center of Racing. Stay in the campgrounds inside the festival. For tickets and information, visit country500.com. Don't miss Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, Florida Georgia Line, Kid Rock, Lady Antebellum, and many more at the Country 500 at Daytona International Speedway. Sponsored in part by Budweiser.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
You need to mark that on your calendar. I want to go to that. I want to see Jason Aldean. I don't know. I just know it's at Daytona.
How do I mark it on my calendar?
Well, you just need to Google it, or I'll Google it before you go in. I will give it to you to put on your calendar.
We'll just have to see if there's a race going on around it.
We could race in Volusia.
Yeah, I'll go Volusia, and you go to Daytona.
That's fine.
All right.
Listen, you know I'm easy to go along with when it's something I want to do.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we are back.
You heard that, folks.
That's right. Absolutely.
Just remember.
Don't you forget it.
All right.
Our next guest is Michael Long. He's your UMP feature winner at Quincy Raceway. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Hi. Thank you.
So you have had a stellar start to your year. You're picking up wins at Quincy, I-55, Jacksonville, Tri-City. It's absolutely impressive. What is the key factor that is playing into what is happening so far this season?
Yeah, just everything's rolling really good. We built a car last year and ran it and, kind of did our test and tuning on it. And then it seems like if you don't have to mess with the new car, if you can bring it out the next year, you always seem to be a little bit better. You know the little odds and ends to it. And we got everything fine-tuned and, we don't have to make too many adjustments. And the car is just really drivable right now. And like I said, and luck's been on our side and everything's rolling good.
Well, it's funny because I think I'd read this the other day, and you can correct me. Is it Quincy or somebody put a bounty out on you?
Quincy does, yes.
They put a bounty out on you because you're winning so much. That's got to feel great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. It puts a little bit of pressure on you, but you try not to think about that. But, yeah, I've always been good out at Quincy. That's my home track, and but everything goes good out there, and I know the track really good, and and that helps out.
Yeah. I know Herman, Kenny Wallace has talked very, very highly of you, having a lot of speed and running well. Do you look to travel around, Illinois some, or are you going to stay in the St. Louis area?
We'll probably stay, racing our weekly stuff there in the St. Louis area, Tri-City and Peevely, and then Quincy on Sundays. And then we'll probably during the Summer Nationals, we're going to travel around a little bit and then hit the bigger shows, during like the holiday weekends and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's that St. Louis area is a tough crowd for sure.
It is. There's good car count down there, and like I said, you got good competition there. All your high point runners and everything run right around that area.
Yeah. How's that? They call it Bell Vegas, I think. I've never been there, but
I've never been there either. I'm not really too much of a short track guy.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is my smallest track I've ever been to, but yeah, I don't do a whole lot of the small stuff.
They say it is pretty small. Got wooden walls, I guess, there.
Yeah, they say it's a really neat place.
So when they told me it had wooden walls, I said, well, I know you don't get enough speed to break through the wall then, so you're not going fast enough. But
yeah.
Oh, goodness. You have 100 wins so far. Well, 100 plus now. I mean, you've been racking them up this year. You're the track champion at Quincy. Where and how did you get your start in racing?
My family's always been racing. My dad and my sister, we started out racing go-karts. They both raced go-karts before I did, and then 2000 I got in the dirt modified and been there ever since.
So when I was talking to a couple guys, and they said that you build your own cars and do everything. Is that correct?
Yes, I build my own cars, frame-wise, and then my dad and my father-in-law both build the engines. I got one engine that's a Ford and one engine that's a Chevy. So we kind of do everything ourselves.
So I didn't know that. What makes you want to run either manufacturer?
My dad's always been a big Ford guy, so when I first started out racing, we always ran Ford stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought this Chevy a couple years ago. It seemed really drivable, and it was easier to fix when something does happen. You can fix the Chevy a lot quicker.
How'd that go over with Dad?
He didn't like it very much, but he's got used to it now. He don't care as long as we run good up front. Yeah, he's happy.
Well, that's good. It says a lot when you build your own cars, not let alone your cars, but the motors and everything, and go out and do what you're doing. What's have you reset some of the goals of what you want to do this year? Maybe go after a UMP championship, or is it just kind of go out week by week?
Yeah, no, that was kind of my goal going in this year to win that national deal. I've been top 5 past couple years. I was second, I think, in 2011 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, and as good as things are rolling, I'm definitely gonna charge hard to win that deal.
Well, that'll be good.
Hey, you're doing a pretty darn good job so far this year, for sure. I love how you talk about how your entire family's involved, your dad, your brother, your sister. And now you've got your sons into it. You have 3 sons, and 2 of them are actually racing. How hard is it to try to help them and have them understand what you're, trying to teach them while they're out there trying to win their races in their go-karts? Yeah,
it's definitely brought a new perspective to it, teaching them kind of what my dad went through with me. I got one 11-year-old, and he's really become the little wheel man, in the go-kart. He's picked off the past couple wins here at the local track, and and then that just adds a little bit extra work during the week to get them go-karts ready. But it's fun. I enjoy doing that. That's why I want to race hard this year with my stuff, and and win. I want to win the national points, and then maybe cut back a little bit so I can race with them with the go-kart stuff.
I was going to say your plate is full, because to go after that. When you talk about the Hell Tour and running 3 nights a week, there is a lot on the table. Do you have a lot of people that help you, or obviously your dad and them help, but is there anybody else?
Yeah, I got some good pit crew guys that the guys that letter the car, the High Caliber Graphics. They help me out down there in the St. Louis area. And then, like I said, we run like Friday, Saturday, then we come home, and then we run Sundays. We run the go-kart Sunday afternoons, and then I race Sunday night. So,
wow.
I've been fortunate. I haven't torn nothing up on the Saturday night, but to cut it close. But I got a lot of guys around town that help me out, and if something does happen, to get stuff put back together.
That's a lot of racing.
Yes, it is. That is a lot of racing.
I think you'd kill me if I did that much.
Yeah, maybe.
How's the wife? And I'm going to ask you this because we've been asking the last couple of weeks. Because my wife loves to tell me when I do something wrong. How is she with you racing out there? She pretty receptive to giving you some information.
Good feedback.
Yeah, she definitely is. I got a great wife that loves racing. I was born in it too, so that helps out. And yeah, she definitely. I can see her up there in the stands. Like the other night, it was rough out here at Quincy. She kept pointing to her head. So, yeah, she's definitely very helpful. With the races and with the boys too.
Really cool. Did you get to witness Kenny Wallace's barrel roll?
No, I didn't. I was out
leading.
front, and all I heard was red, red, red. And I pulled around the back straightaway, and there he was sitting in 3 and 4, upside down. So, yeah, the car didn't look very good, and luckily the safety crew was on it. When it rolled back over, it kind of caught on fire, but they was right on top of all that stuff. So, yeah, it was lucky he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. I was talking to Kenny, and to me, when I look at that St. Louis area, I mean, it's a big family racing, very tough. He said Gundaker was like the first one that pulled him out of the car, was there at the car. I mean, he's up there at Quincy. I mean, it's neat seeing that whole atmosphere that you don't see other parts of the country. It seems like all those guys really work, meaning track promoters, work well together.
They do, yeah.
And they try to, I guess, when they schedule big shows, they work alongside each other on that, or?
Yeah, where they can all run, a guy can run 3 nights, and 150 miles from each other, which makes it nice, when they do that. And I said nowadays with the way money is and fuel and the cost of everything, that helps the guy out, and the promoters got to work together so they can keep their car count up and keep race cars and fans at the racetrack.
Well, you keep winning all these races, the competitors are just
They're
going to
not
stay home.
Start showing up.
Yeah, yeah, that's the plan, to keep that going.
That's a good
plan.
Like
I said, it's very competitive, and I said I've had a little bit of luck on a couple races with lap traffic and stuff like that, but you need that in racing every once in a while.
So you talk about the St. Louis area. I'm assuming that you're going to be running the Gateway Dirt Nationals.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to that? What are your expectations for it? I'm excited to see how it all just funnels down and works out.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of cars going into it. Me personally, I wish they would have made it kind of more of an invitational deal, and then maybe did some first come first serve after that. But the way they got qualifying set up for Thursday night, that'll weed some guys out, and it'd definitely be a lot of luck with the track. I'm sure it's going to be hard to pass on. So it's going to be, you're definitely going to have to time trial good, and I'll have to get to work on my short track stuff.
Go to Macon and go test. You'll be all
set.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Michael, we appreciate you being on the show today, and we're going to hopefully continue to watch you win some races this year.
That's the plan. I hope.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we have finally got Scott on the phone, so we're going to take a quick break here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts during Clean Car Month for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new, like Black Magic Diamond Tire Wet free after mail-in rebate. Leave your tires looking better than ever with Black Magic Diamond Tire Wet free after mail-in rebate during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm Marty Huff. Join me and 10-time NHRA National Event winner Doug Herbert for 1 hour of horsepower Thursdays at noon on the Straight Line. We'll talk to the biggest names in NHRA drag racing and keep you up to date with news from the pits, tracks, and shops across the country. Join us Thursdays at noon for the Straight Line, streaming live on the MRN app, the Motor Racing Network's YouTube channel, and on MRN.com.
is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
This is Slingin Dirt presented by Hercules Tires. On the phone with us now, he picks up the inaugural Buckeye Nationals win at Atomic this weekend. It is Scott Bloomquist. Welcome back to the show, Bloomer.
Hey, glad to be back.
So, steak dinners for everybody this weekend?
Well, yeah, they're next to their shot of Crown, maybe. I don't know. Whatever they feel like, I guess.
A little $50,000 extra doesn't hurt anything.
Oh no. I mean, there's no doubt. Those are the races that define whether or not you actually make any money racing, or have a chance to make any money racing. Because the tens, and even if you pick up a number of tens, that just kind of keeps the bills paid and keeps everything rolling, and it makes you not have too much pressure on you to be able to keep all the bills paid. But when you get some of the bigger licks, that's where you kind of get a comfort zone, and you get that extra stress of worrying about money off your back, and makes you be able to focus even more. I always say the worst thing is that had happened to me too many times, where you end up getting yourself in a financial bind and you're going racing and you need the money. When you get in a position that you really need the money to continue, and you're worried about going to the bank or trying to figure out where you're going to get some money to pay your bills, there's something about it, that extra pressure, or that extra whatever goes on in your mind or just in the air, makes you seem to go on a dry spell. And anymore, I make sure we don't ever get ourselves in that position.
There's a lot of truth to that. I want to, when you talk about big races and stuff, my friend Gene Leffler from On the Cushion had texted me this, and he's a big fan of yours, and I thought this was really, really impressive. It said Scott Bloomquist has now 14 Crown Jewel victories in the state of Ohio, 6 Dreams, 4 World 100s, 3 Dirt Track World Championships, 1 Buckeye Nationals. And for a perspective of this, only 3 other drivers in the history of dirt late model racing have at least 14 victories of that caliber. What does that say about your whole program and the motivation of going into those big races?
Well, it's in one hand, it can be a little embarrassing to say you don't put the effort forward for the other ones, that you do the big ones.
Yeah.
But you can only operate at a certain level with the amount of help that's available, and sometimes you're going to get behind, and you're going to just get yourself or let's just say you may even just get a little overtaxed and overworked yourself, and a little bit of the fire may be down on you, and you just don't feel like, you're not in the mood to fix the car if you do tear it up, and you just might not drive quite as hard as normal, or what you would if you had a stable of cars.
Yep.
And I think we've got our program now to where there's not a car or an insecurity or something about where you're worried about this one car is better than the rest, or
Yep.
that you're afraid of messing up a particular car. The confidence now that we have to be able to repeat and to be able to do exact same product is here now.
Yeah.
I don't have any variables anymore in one car over another, or thinking that one may have some magic or whatever than another. So that's what I need right now. My biggest thing is I want to get another car built. We got 2 cars. I got one of them's 3 years old, and the other one I've only run 3 times. And we won the race at Batesville, and we won this weekend with the new one. But we won the other shows with the old one, and it's like I said, it's 3 years old, and we've just done updates on it. So it's the updates and that stuff that's made the difference. So now I'm rock solid. I'm ready to build another car and just get one more. Whether we race it or don't race it, it just needs to be here in the stable if we have a bad problem, or just, you never know when you're going to end up in an accident that was unavoidable, and we don't want to get down to one car.
I think I loved hearing what you just said, and then also what you gave the interview after the race and said, hey, you didn't think there was a next level, and you go to the next level, and you keep pushing. And to me, that next level weeds out a lot of guys because it takes a deep down inside, hard work, motivation to do it. And you're very select on the few that keep going to that next level of through different changes and stuff. And we could talk about that all day. But I want to ask you.
I think our next level is, I think that people may underestimate what level I'll go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that last year was kind of a little slap and an eye-opener and an awakening to, it's like, well, now that I see it can be done, I realize that I've been sleeping on the job, and it's just needed to just bear down and go after it harder and rethink some things I visited and tried before that didn't seem to be something I liked. I went back and considered, because of the things I changed to the car, that it changed a lot of other things with it.
Yeah.
Anytime you make a major change, especially if it's on one corner, it does affect the other corners drastically. Mm-hmm. So I found myself going back and revisiting a lot of things that I already went and bypassed and decided weren't good, but they weren't good because of the attitude of the car at the time.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you something this ain't got nothing to do with racing, but how's the fishing going?
That's the problem. I said I was going to do some fishing this year, and I've tried to talk my daughter into it a few times, and it's just, we have the timing of it after she got out of school,
mm-hmm.
and times before she has to get ready for bed and all that, she's like, I've been trying. I just haven't got to go, and I actually believe it's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, I hope the weather holds out, because and we need to get somebody because Davenport, he'll throw up pictures on Twitter, and I figured when he went up and congratulated him, Victor Lane, he wanted to know like something about lures and all this other stuff, talking about some fish and knowing that how good a fisherman you are.
Yeah, I love fishing. Shoot, it used to be where one of the guys that worked for me, he'd always go, "Oh, we're gonna win this week," because I fished 2 or 3 days. He said, he does his best thinking when he's fishing.
Well, them boys
David
are going to be in trouble.
David does the same. It's just on the lawnmower instead.
Yeah, I go cut grass.
Well, I'll tell you for sure, black jitterbug up in the trees, middle of summer.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
If you want to catch a big fish.
Yeah.
The biggest fish I've caught off of my lake, but just walked down to the bank here. And I don't know, I've talked to a lot of people that fish here their whole lives, and I hadn't heard of anybody catching one any bigger, so I don't really know. But it was just over 9 pounds, and it's a natural bass out of this lake, and it was just back in the trees right here by our place. It was it's 4 in the afternoon, which for some reason seems to be a really good time between 4 and 5 o'clock.
Wow!
And then the first time I went out there, I threw it out, and it come up, had a different lure on, and it come up, opened its mouth, and at the last second he goes, nope.
Oh, wow.
And I saw the head and the mouth, and I'm like, holy, you know what? And so I knew it was there, and I went back, and the next day I said, well, I'm going to try this thing here, and they knocked it out, and then I took it up and put it in my pond, and then it was 2 days later. I thought maybe he wasn't alone. I went out and caught one over 8 pounds.
Oh, wow!
And I've never caught any fish ever in this lake, no largemouth anyway. I've caught stripers in the 25-pound area, but never any largemouth that over that size. I think maybe a high 6 or maybe 7 flat.
Yeah.
That's about as big as I've heard anybody ever catching.
But
I've fished in the same place for 30 years, and only 1 year, and catching them both within 20 foot of the same spot on the same plug. Something to it.
Yeah, there might be, and I talk to fishermen all the time. They got some pretty good paying fishing tournaments. Maybe you should go check into.
That's when you retire from racing.
Yeah,
that's right. Yes, I might get my back a rest doing that.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, awesome. Well, hopefully, I'm sure we'll see you in the winner's circle more. That way we can bring you back on to talk about more about fishing.
Yeah, there you go. We'll see how it goes this weekend. I'm definitely going to go fishing here today or tomorrow. So
well, you
maybe we'll see how that helps on this next trip. We got like 4 races to run.
Them boys are going to be in trouble if you do your best racing after fishing and you haven't done any fishing yet.
No, not yet. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Well, it's always good to talk to you. Good luck to you.
All right. Well, hey, give me a call tonight or something. We'll just have a little private rap session.
We'll do that. I've been trying to catch some free time, and it's been very hard. But we'll definitely do that.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
We'll see.
That is, I'd like to see him in Davenport in a fishing tournament.
For fishing tournament.
Not Clint Elkins. Clint Elkins sends these like little small, like the Hercules guy. But
he's not small. He's just, yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to say kudos out to Delmas Conley. He made the A main at Atomic this week.
Yeah.
74 years old, folks.
Hey, he had a new XR1 rocket.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, people. I watched that guy last year at Portsmouth. He gets on the wheel. He makes Bobby Pierce and Devin Moran look like they're still in diapers. I mean,
well, to
like
him,
they
are. So.
I meant on the track. Like he gets after it.
Love it. Well, up next we have Ryan Unzicker joining us right here on Slingin Dirt, presented by MRN.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts during Clean Car Month for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new, like Black Magic Diamond Tire Wet, free after mail-in rebate. Leave your tires looking better than ever with Black Magic Diamond Tire Wet, free after mail-in rebate during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Motor Racing Network, glad to have you aboard for our coverage of practice, something we will be doing all throughout the year.
They are pretty close in practice.
You said you learned a lot in practice.
We can have a good, clean practice.
How many teams are going to opt out of practice?
Get this practice session underway.
As we close out practice.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
We are talking practice. Sprint Cup Series practice on the Motor Racing Network. Join us all season long on MRN.com and the MRN app. This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. We're the Stremmies, and you're listening to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules
I can't
Tires.
wait to get this guy on the show here. Who's up next?
Well, if you'd quit interrupting me, he'd be on the show by now.
I know that.
He is your Lucas Oil MLRA winner. No, he's not. He is your
What?
I don't know.
You're not even ready.
Bless. I'm
She's
ready.
done backed her in the fence
It's
already.
been a bad morning. Anyhow, he is your Chuck Hamilton ALMS winner from Peoria Speedway. It is Ryan Unzicker. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. A great show for the fans. You were battling side by side with Billy Moyer. How cool was that you two were, neck and neck the whole way there and could race each other like that without taking one another out?
No, it's always good to race with Junior there. He's one of the top competitors in our sport, and just to race each other clean and put on a good show for the fans. That's what it's all about.
He had put up pictures. I think it was on Facebook or something. And I didn't know really what was going on. Then I seen it was you that took the upset away. I felt good about that because I remember last year we had you on the show. Then we went to Fairbury, and I'm over by the tractor standing there because there wasn't really much you could see. And I think it was the non-qualifier race for the
Prairie Dirt Classic.
Yeah. And you had that thing wrapped up. Then they had a caution, and your wife, she was running laps like around. I mean, I think she had a little girl there with her.
Little boy.
Little boy. I mean, she's running laps like going on. I'm like, oh, he's good. He's got this. And I forget who it was, did a big slider on you. And I was like, oh, I felt so bad for you because you had that wrapped up. But it was very impressed at how you got around there. So when I seen this and Billy Moore, I'm like, all right, he's on the other end of the stick now.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we led the whole race at Peoria. And, I knew I tired up a lot different than everybody, and I just know the track. I've raced there a long time, and you talked earlier last week on the show actually about the Hornets and the small tire cars, dirtying up the racetrack, and I kind of knew the track and it was going to get dirty, so I went softer than everybody, and it paid off early. I led the whole race, and but Moyer had a lot harder tires on him, and got caught up with a lap car with one to go, and kind of made it interesting where the fans will let him catch up to me, and ended up pulling it off by inches. I think the video that I seen, I couldn't have won by 3-4 inches. I think.
Yeah, it was
good racing.
I thought it was great racing.
Show.
I mean, it has been. And there's so many variables that play a factor of, you talk about tires and conditions and everything, and that's what, to me, is putting on a great show because of if you made the right choices and doing that. When we were talking about your wife a little bit, and
this has been an ongoing topic for the last few weeks now.
I get my ass chewed a lot for maybe not doing the right moves on the track.
Me, I do too.
Good,
oh, so you answered it.
Thank you. Listen, what people don't understand is we as wives and girlfriends are just as competitive as you guys are. We're just not the one behind the wheel, so we can complain a little bit more.
It started with Clanton was getting his butt chewed. So then I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So then I got to ask these guys, and I'm feeling much better all the time,
Yeah, no, I mean, the women in the sport, I mean, they put up a lot. Obviously, during the week, we got to go down to the shop and prepare the cars, and then, even at the racetrack, you think it's a night out, to go racing, but,
yeah.
You got to work just as hard at the track and pay attention to things just like you do in the shop. So.
Yeah.
With our little boy being 3 now, I mean, it's getting a little bit easier for her, but it's definitely a struggle, and they put up with a lot. So, but there are lots of times where I get that little that look, or I can't even get my helmet off, and she's in there like, "What the heck did you just do that for?" But the times that we do good, I mean, she's right there by our side, cheering us on. So it's great.
So you just broke my heart. Because I felt like every time we go to racetrack, it's date night, I mean, you just ruined my whole day now.
I love it. I want to talk. You've mentioned your son, Brody. You had a rain out a few weeks ago. Super cute. I loved it. You and him were racing in the garage. You were on a tricycle, I believe it was. You ran him up the track there a little bit, I saw, and then at the end you were trying to bump and run on him. How cool is it? Is he really starting to grasp what it is that you do?
He is here for about a year now. He's just all up into this racing. If we like he wanted to go in the holler. He calls it ha-ha. But he wants to go in the holler every day. When he knows it's coming the weekend, he's ready to get out of the babysitter and tell everybody at the babysitter that he's going racing tonight, and telling Mom when she drops him off that don't forget me, I gotta go racing tonight. So he's just excited as everybody else on our team to hit the racetrack, and he's just one of those kids that has fell in love with it.
So is he mad when he doesn't go to Victory Lane with you?
No, he tries to. Mom always tries to get him down there for a picture. But he was asleep there Saturday night when she woke him up to get a picture, so he didn't know quite what was going on. But then after we got back to the trailer, he kind of woke up again, and he wanted to know where his trophy was.
Oh, that is. I'll tell you, it's stories like this that make me really happy for the racing community because of that, him looking forward to going to the racetrack and seeing everybody and all the stuff going on. So it is kudos to you for allowing your son and everything to be involved. Because most people, they're like, I don't want my son in racing. I want to play golf or go do something else. And I'm like, man, we need more racers in this.
Well, I definitely I don't know quite yet on my decision on whether or not if I want him to race. I'd rather him whack the ball around and make millions, but if he decides to play football, baseball, whatever, or race, I'll support him. His mom and I will support whatever he wants to do, but it's going to be hard to keep him away from the race car, I think.
Did your father race?
No. Mm-mm.
So
Nope.
How did you get your start then? Were you around other guys? You just thought, well, I'm going to go drive a car.
Well, I was in high school, and a friend of mine in town here where I live had a car, and I just was interested in racing growing up. I'd go to Fairbury. I'm only 30 minutes from there, so I'd go to there and watch it on the weekends with my grandpa, and I just enjoyed it so much that in high school I was helping this guy with his modified, and then when I got out of college, I actually got my first Hornet and raced it for 3 or 4 times, and then I bought a street stock, and all things led into there. I mean, our family was involved with Hendren Motorsports. They raced ARCA cars with Kenny Rowley and Bob Strait.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd been around racing and known things, and then they asked me to go on the ASA national tour back in the early 2000s, and then kind of got started there.
That was around my era when I was in the ASA.
Yeah, I remember you.
Oh wow! Oh wow! That's
You're a lot
when
better than we were.
That's when I was like, I don't know about this dirt stuff. Now I love it. I can care less about all the asphalt stuff.
Yeah, once ASA shut their doors there at Charlotte, we had to make a decision, and the Hendren Motorsports, they wanted to just race a couple races a year with the 2 dirt shows, and we decided to buy a couple late models, and it's just been uphill from there.
That's great, because I always tell people, I wish I could have grew up in the 80s, 90s, ASA, ARCO racing, all up in the Midwest, Trickle, and Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, all those guys. And I look at dirt racing that way. It's like you can run a national tour, and if it rains out or you want to go to a local event, you can just show up and race, and it's phenomenal at the people you get to meet. The way the setting is on it is really, really cool.
Yeah, there's tracks. I think there's 8 or 9 tracks within 2.5 hours from my house. So, I mean, I've got plenty to choose from. Fairbury being one of the leading racetracks in the country, in my opinion, right now, with the fans and everybody support that they have. Being 30 minutes down the road, I mean, I can't ask for a better spot.
What about LaSalle? You speaking of that area, they got a big race coming up here in a couple weeks.
Yep, I'll be after I get off work at 5. I'll be heading down to the shop to prepare for their Lucas Oil event at LaSalle Speedway this Saturday.
Yeah,
and they're about 45 minutes away from me.
Izzo and them, they've been doing a really good job there with their track and getting people and doing stuff. So it's really cool to see that too.
I have to ask, because I was rolling through your Facebook feed there. Are you still looking for a crew chief?
I am. I've given some opportunities to some young kids that was willing to help and learn, and to where I am now, with working so much and the little man growing up and needing to spend some time at home to cook them cheeseburgers on the grill and mow the grass. I'm just looking for somebody that's real experienced, more experienced, to where I can let them go and don't have to hold their hand so much. But
all right, there you have
does
it,
it pay good?
listeners.
Maybe I want to do this.
Oh, you gonna move to
Fairbury's an awesome place. I love it up there.
There you go. Bring your car.
Love it. So there you go, listeners. If you're in that area, he's looking for a crew chief. Experience necessary. But Ryan, we appreciate you being on the show today, and congratulations. And hopefully we'll be seeing you at Falls later this year.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on there, and I'll definitely see you at Falls.
Cool.
Awesome.
That is,
love it.
You know what I like? He was listening to our show last week.
I know, right?
It was cool.
Pretty cool.
I thought only like a couple of my friends listened to it, but it's funny when we watch the little kids involved and their families, and as they're growing, we heard Michael Long and some of these other guys, and I think it's important that they play a role, because
it's
I'm
our sport.
I'm a 4th generation racer, so it's something that I mean we got to keep going on. So
you are?
Yes, I am. I'm a 4th generation.
Who's the 4th?
It was my uncle, my great uncle and grandfather, my dad, and I'm 4. That would be 4.
That would be 3. Your uncles.
Whatever. That's great, Uncle. It was a great Uncle. That's what I was telling you. I'm fourth.
Okay.
I'll have to check on that, folks. I'm pretty sure I'm the fourth, but anyways, you know what I'm saying. So
get your notes out.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, this weekend. You heard it, LaSalle.
Yep. Oshkosh first.
Oshkosh.
Then LaSalle.
Yes.
For the spring shootout. USMTS has got a 4-day weekend at 81 Speedway, Outlaw Motor Speedway, Salina High Banks, and Longdale
You know what
Speedway.
else?
Tell me.
There's so much racing going on. As I've said it before, just go on social media. You can follow it. I mean, I went Skyline. I'm like, oh, somebody's racing Friday, and look what it ended up. I ended up going to the Baja, so it was great. But no, you never know where you end up. You just watch that weather, and you can follow it. And you can shoot somewhere else. And
yeah, because they have this great thing called technology now.
Well, even if it's snowing, they're still racing. I seen a buddy of mine up in New York at, I think it was Black Rock. It's sleet and snow, and they're like, oh, it's not sticking to the ground, so we're good.
That's right. Hey, if you don't need a snowplow to see the dirt track, get it done.
But there's a lot. I know Memorial Day's coming up next weekend.
Lots of racing
and
happening at your
it's
local tracks.
We're not supposed to think of it as a big racing weekend, but it is with the 500.
It's a big racing
500.
weekend.
You got the
holiday.
Coca-Cola 600.
You can drink Sunday and not have to worry about it on Monday.
But anyways, there's a lot of good stuff going on. So
support your local tracks for sure. Follow us on.
And I want to see some pictures.
That's what I was getting ready to say until you interrupted me. Slingin Dirt, tweet us. Goodness gracious.
She normally doesn't even get that in, so I just want to make sure that that's what we got.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, David Stremme. Thank you for joining us today. We're the Stremmes, and this is Slingin Dirt.
This has been Slingin Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.